Hello everyone and welcome to Friday's literacy lesson. Now you've worked really hard this week on writing your innovative stories of the Storm Mermaid, and normally if we were in school we would spend this time now improving your work and editing it, and also having a go at evaluating each other's work, so by doing 2 stars and a wish. I don't quite know how we can do that online at the moment. I'm sure there'll be some way, and we'll all start thinking about how we can share the work we produce with each other. But for today, I thought we could have a go at writing a facts file about the author whose books we've so enjoyed. So we're going to make a facts file all about the author Benji Davies. So I've got some little bits of information for you here. So Benji Davies is an illustrator and author of books. He was born in Peterborough, but now lives in London with his wife and daughter. You might remember on one of the drawing videos, I think you saw his daughter because they were learning to draw Noi from the Storm Whale together. As a child, Benji could be found painting at the kitchen table, and he dreamt about seeing his artwork be published. At college, Benji studied animation, so that's where you make short films with images, and he has made children's books, animated films, music videos and TV commercials. So he's done lots and lots of different things. So I've got a very short video that I'm going to play, which is an interview with him before one of his new books was launched. And then I'm going to ask you to pause the video and see if you could think about 3 questions that you would like to ask him. So at the bottom, I've thought about the question words you might like to use. So we've got how, when, why, who and where. And then also I've given you the little prompt about remembering the punctuation that goes at the end of a sentence. So a question sentence will always have a question mark. So you just need to bear with me for a minute. I'm going to pause the recording and hopefully start again and you can see this video.
Hi Benji, congratulations on the Storm Whale in Winter. Thank you for inviting us to your party. Would you like to tell us a little bit about this fantastic new book?
Yes, I would actually. So the Storm Whale in Winter is a sequel to my first book, so this is my 3rd book. The first book was called The Storm Whale, and you may have read it, hopefully. And yeah, this is the sequel. So I wrote this, I started thinking probably about a year ago. I started thinking, or maybe longer, actually 18 months. I started thinking of ideas of things to do with the Storm Whale which might take it to new places. And one that really appealed to me was the idea of a winter story. And as soon as I started thinking about that, I started thinking of all sorts of snowy landscapes and ice and all sorts of stuff like that. So maybe I can show you some. These are the end papers, very snowy end papers. Maybe show you my favourite spread, which may contain a spoiler, but let's just have a look.
Spoiler alert!
So,
spoiler alert!
This is my favourite spread. This is actually the first spread that I started artworking when I started working on the book. Once I'd worked out the story, which I rewrote that 5 times. But once I started work, this was the first one because I felt it really set the tone and the mood for the rest of the book, and from that point I could artwork the whole thing. So,
You recently released 2 beautiful trailers promoting the book. Do you ever see it as a full-length animated programme?
yeah, I'd love to see it as a full-length animated piece, maybe like sort of half an hour long Christmas special. Now there's the 2 books together. It would be really nice to sort of see the two being brought together into, because they're kind of like bookends really. The two books, they're kind of like the first book kind of rolled out the story, and I think this one kind of sort of rolls it back in. So I think in terms of a long piece of animation, they would like make a really nice narrative arc together. So hopefully one day.
Could you tell us a bit about these beautiful knitted whales and where they came from and where we can get them?
I could. These knitted whales, these were made in the fall. So when I did the first book, I had about 80 of these made in the fall. It's actually designed by my mum, and then we sent it to the fall, and they made these whales. And this time, we've had them remade in the same place, but we've got 115 of them. And I'll be selling them on my website, which is going to go live hopefully on Thursday, which is publication notice 22nd of September.
And what's your web address?
It's well, if you go to benjidavis.com or stormwhale.com, you'll find links through to it to
Pretty nice Christmas present.
Pretty nice Christmas presents indeed.
And then our potluck question to end with is, with our magical imaginary fishing rod, what would you like to find on the end?
I like to find on the end an imaginary fishing rod. Well, you know, you always sort of imagine that you'll find an old boot, don't you, on the end of a fishing rod? But maybe inside the boot there could be something nice. Oh, I don't know. Maybe, you know, a kind of a nice Christmas present would be nice, wouldn't it? Can you imagine it? Box set of the Stormwhale.
A lighthouse cage, maybe.
Something, yeah, something like that.
Well, congratulations, Benji, and thank you so much for talking to us on the Book Sniffer vlog.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Cheers, Benji.
Okay, I enjoyed watching that video. I like the cheeky question at the end. Okay, so I just need to stop sharing and then pause for a second. Okay, so we should be back to the flip chart now. So this is a great place to pause the video and for you to have a go at writing 3 questions that you would like to ask Benji. So pause here. Okay, so how did you get on? I do hope that you remembered your capital letters at the start of your sentence and your question marks at the end. Here are 3 questions that I came up with that I'd be interested to know the answer to. So the first one was, how long does it take you to write a book? Where do you get your inspiration? And do you write the story or draw the illustrations first? I always find that interesting and with an author who does both jobs. I wonder which one they enjoy most and which one they do first of all. Okay, so we're going to make a very simple facts file all about him. So we've got some headings. We've got name, place of birth, lives currently, is famous for, so why we know about them, and then a little bit about their life here as well. Okay, so you can use that information I had on the very first slide of our flip chart, or if you wanted to Google him, you can do just like he said in that interview. You'll find the information by Googling the storm whale or by Googling his name. You'll find plenty of information all about him. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit that I'd completed for you to have a go at comparing what you'd written. So I've written his name is Benji Davis, place of birth Peterborough, he lives in London with his wife and daughter, and he's famous for writing and illustrating children's books such as The Storm Whale. The bit I missed off was a little bit about his life. So let's have a go at writing that together. So their life. So if you remember on the beginning of the slide, I said that as a young child, he would often be painting and drawing. So I'm going to start by saying that as a young, oh, I can't spell, young child, he would often, oh dear, paint and draw and dreamed about seeing his work published. Now, I'm not sure if you can remember about what he studied at college, but I remember that I think he studied animation at college. So should we go back through the flip chart just to check? We'll go back on ourselves right at the beginning. Yeah, there we are. And it says, at college, Benji studied animation. So I'm going to write that bit down too as well. Let's go back at where we were. At college, animation. Brilliant. Okay, so there we go. So I hope you were able to complete a simple facts file all about him. It's quite nice to build another favourite author from sharing their text. Okay, so now I have just got that new story, The Storm Whale in Winter. I'm not reading all of it to you because I thought it might be quite nice for us to kind of just do a little bit of a comparison from what we know about the beginning of the 2 stories. So I thought we could think about who the characters are, and then I thought you might like to pause the video and make a prediction about what might happen next in the story. This is a picture here. I wonder what we've got, the whale here, and I wonder what this shadow is. down here in this bit of the picture. So I need to pause again whilst I open the next video, so bear with me. Okay, so hopefully you can see this animation now. These animations are absolutely beautiful. I've spent lots of time Googling him over the past week whilst we've been putting these flip charts together. And I even found out that there was a real life version of the Storm Whale that was in theatres with puppets and actors. I feel really quite sad that we weren't able to plan a trip to watch something like that, or even to be able to film and see the whole of a performance to share. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy this this cartoon now. Okay, so it's only really short, but I'm just going to pause again so I can go back to my flip chart. Okay, so we should be back on the flip chart. So it seemed to have the same main character in as the story that we'd read before. So it seemed to have Noi again. You notice we've still got the 6 cats. I loved that little clue with the picture there of the whale. So maybe he still hopes to see his friend the storm whale and thinks about him often. And in this picture, and have you heard the noises on the video clip? I wonder if there's a little problem with the whales. What do you think the problem could be? Remember, this one is now set in winter time, so what might have happened? Pause the video now so that you can have a think about it. What did you come up with? I wonder if the whales might be trapped under some frozen ice. I've no idea. And do you know what? I haven't even read the whole book yet because I don't really want to find out just yet. I thought I might save it so we can share it all together at school. Okay, so I've got another job for you if you'd like an extra challenge. I was quite excited too because I found this story map here, which actually was made by Benji for the story of the storm whale. And look how simple his pictures are. Okay, but it tells the story that it starts off at home. Then one night there's the storm. He's got the whale. Then he quickly goes down to the beach, finds the whale and quickly takes him back home, puts him in the bath. But then what happens then? He was worried about telling his dad. Look at this very simple picture of Noi's dad giving him a great big hug. I love how Benji used the simple, just stick figures almost to tell this story, and then how he built upon those when he was actually illustrating the book. And sadly, Dad said that they had to take the whale back home, and then he was wondering what would happen to the whale and if he would ever see him again. So I haven't given you too much information about what happens in the storm whale in winter. From that video clip, it looked like Noi was dashing off somewhere again. He put on his raincoat, he grabbed his lights. What could be happening? And you notice there's something, one of our other favourite things on here too, a lighthouse on the picture. That's new. There isn't a lighthouse in the original story. So I wonder if you might want to have a go at making a story map and thinking about what might happen next in the story, The Storm Whale in Winter. And you might also want to have a go at just orally retelling that story. We're so looking forward to seeing your work on Dojo. Take care.